If I don't get the next title shot, the sport has taken a dramatic turn for the worse, man.
You serious?
So how embarrassing is it that Masvidal has arrived cap in hand begging for a title shot? I think it's quite embarrassing, and maybe not just on behalf of Masvidal, maybe it's quite embarrassing for me as well. Maybe I'm completely wrong in thinking that this is a non-runner, because there's MMA media totally buying into it. You know, there's this back and forth between Daniel Cormier and Jorge Masvidal over this shite as well. I don't know what to think. Somebody is lying somewhere. We're going to get into it. Before we do, hit subscribe if you'd like. If you could share it out, that'd be great. We're going to get into Jorge Masvidal blasting the has-been Daniel Cormier. I'm not the biggest fan of Daniel Cormier, full stop. But calling him a has-been? Absolutely embarrassing. This is just all craziness at the moment. This week, in the aftermath of Leon Rocky Edwards sparking Usman out, it's just been a roller coaster of absolute shite talk. Dana White is banging on about he's looking for venues in the UK for the Usman and Edwards rematch. Is that happening? Is that a real thing? I don't know who the fuck he's going fighting next. We have Jorge Masvidal embarrassingly running around begging for a fight after ignoring the dude for 2 years because he wasn't a big enough star to fight. We have Kamaru Usman making videos from his kitchen where he's doing that sucky thing with his mouth where it's like, I'm the Nigerian nightmare. Dude, you got sparked? Calm down. Alright, so he's just been a little bit blasé. He's waiting to be told what to do from Ali and from Dana. He doesn't know what's happening. We have Ben Askren calling Jorge Masvidal out for calling Daniel Cormier out. It's all a big clusterfuck. Somebody is lying somewhere. We're going to have to try figure out how this unfolds and where it's going to end up. Who is Leon Edwards going to fight next? I asked this question a few videos ago and we got a good couple of answers, but I think it's even more up in the air. We have Gilbert Burns saying that he's not willing to fight Masvidal anymore. He wants to fight Brady, or he wants to fight Jeff Neal. We have Dana White coming out and totally and utterly debunking my last video about Colby Covington, saying, yeah, the kid is ready to fight. We're actively working on a match for him. There's a lot of spoofs flying everywhere. There's lies getting told left, right, and center, and we don't know what the truth is and where we go from here. Leon Rocky Edwards wants to fight Nate Diaz. He reckons if Nate beats Khamzat, then I'm going to fight Nate. He's not dismissing anything at the moment. He's up for everything. He's talking about fighting Masvidal in Britain. He's talking about fighting Usman. He'll fight Gilbert. He'll fight Colby. He'll fight everyone. He's doing what he needs to do. This is not aimed at Leon. This is aimed at the UFC, who looks like they've plummeted. They've plunged into this disarray in the last 3 or 4 days because of Leon landing that kick. We know that Dana was already setting up fights for Khamzat to fight Usman for the title next, like totally disrespecting Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards. So it didn't go to plan. All the nefarious bollocks acting that was done in that fight from Kamaru Usman and the UFC and referees turning a blind eye, all that went out the window with that kick. Bang, lights out, headshot, and now Dana is scrambling left, right, and center. He's literally saying everyone's getting a title shot and nobody's getting a title shot and this person is getting it. It's so confusing. But bringing it back to Masvidal for a second, let's have a little look and see what Daniel Cormier said that ruffled his shorts, that got him all up in a heap.
How in the world can you move on from somebody when they begged for you for a year? Like Leon Edwards, when that 2-piece in a biscuit thing that he did,
Right.
That's when that fight was at the heart of its rivalry.
Right.
But at that time, he was the man. He was fighting for the belt, so he didn't want to look at Leon. Why in the world should Leon Edwards not want to look back to you guys? And I'm
going to pause it there for 1 second. How in the world did Jorge Masvidal get a title fight? How in the world did he go from beating Darren Till, beating Ben Askren, and getting a title fight against Kamaru Usman? And not just a title fight, he got a rematch, an instant one. And there was karma involved in that because he got sparked. But how in the world did he jump to there? How did he become this big? It's a manufactured rise to the top. It was bullshit. The Nate Diaz fight, the BMF belt, all a load of shite. And he did ignore Leon in this trajectory after the Ben Askren fight and after the Darren Till incident in Britain. He did ignore Leon. Now, let's be fair. Let's be 100% honest. Leon isn't the most explosive name in the UFC. In terms of on the mic or outside of the octagon, he's not this flamboyant star. He He just seems like a legit guy, and I like legit guys like him. Let that be said. I think Leon is awesome. I love everything that he does. I love the way he holds himself, and of course, he backed it up. So, if we're playing devil's advocate, I can understand why Masvidal was on this trajectory where he was getting Usman fights, he was getting Nate Diaz fights, he was getting The Rock putting the BMF belt on him, he was getting all this shit. So when you have Leon Edwards, who's kind of a quite reserved guy, who everyone knows in the business that he's an extremely good fighter, but just a quiet guy. So when you have that happening, I can understand to an extent how Masvidal didn't go calling him out. Now, saying that, I find it highly embarrassing that he's calling him out now. I said it in my last video. I find it almost childish. It's almost one of these scenarios when you see two kids playing and one guy has a cone and the other guy doesn't, and he wants it. Like, there's no rationale. He just wants to put out his hand and grab it and take it. It's very childish behavior from Masvidal. He sees that Leon Edwards has the belt and he wants it. He thinks this is a great option for him to get it. He thinks that stylistically he can jump in there and take the belt. But it's like, dude, you've lost your last 3 fights. You don't even fucking deserve a title shot. A 3rd title shot? You're kidding me. You're actually kidding me. You didn't deserve the other 2. I don't know how you deserved this title shot. And what Daniel Cormier is saying here is 100% spot on. Whether you agree with Daniel Cormier in general or not, because I don't agree with him at all on anything.
I'm saying you guys, because Gilbert Burns too. Gilbert Burns is guilty of this. They did not want to talk about Leon Edwards at all whenever they were the ones on the short list for a championship fight.
Right.
Now Leon is the guy in that position, and they want to call him out. No, Leon, Rocky, get the title shot that you so justly deserve. Don't waste your time. I'm tapping out.
I have to agree 100% with him. And if I jump back over here, I want to go down through the tweets that happened, right? So Jorge Masvidal came back at him, giving him a little bit of shit talk. And he said, I guess you're still butthurt you didn't get the interview you requested on your weak YouTube channel during my fight week. I know you needed my name to produce some sort of views. Since Ariel went solo, you became a has-been. Just make sure Dana calls you and tells you you can promote the biggest fight the current champ can make in the division, which is me. Wear your best suit for DXL. Wear your best suit and make sure that you do what you're told like a good little boy. Maybe you'll get a treat from the master. Okay, spicy old message from Masvidal aimed at DC. DC is not a has-been. DC is a 2-time world champion, 2 different divisions, and an awesome fighter. I have to say it. A decent fighter. And everything that DC said about Jorge Masvidal getting the title shot was 100% spot on. Jorge Masvidal seems to conduct his business, which he calls it just business, but it's not. It's on emotion. And this is a childish response as well. You got your feelings hurt. Not even your feelings. Someone said one thing that was slightly negative about your persona, and this is how you come back, kind of pointing the finger, calling names. That is completely embarrassing. Daniel Cormier came back with, Jorge, you've always been the man, Maliki, stay off his page. I stand by what I said, you don't get unlimited fights, Maliki. And this is interesting because he's alluding to the fact that Jorge's manager, who's a cock scumbag, who you can go across Twitter and see his sort of interactions and know exactly what type of cock he is. He's pointing out the fact that, like, this dude is on your channel, man. The same as the way Ali runs a lot of these guys' Twitter pages, and he puts out these random tweets that you know is not from Kamaru Usman. It's like, dude, come on. It's embarrassing. And he tells him to go and win a fight. And as of now, that's where we are with the whole thing. I have absolutely no idea what's happening next. I think the person who's sitting pretty out of all this is Leon Edwards, because he's got the belt and he can pick and choose. And I don't think he should pick Usman for an automatic rematch. I really don't. I don't think Jorge Masvidal should get near a title shot. I said in one of the last videos that stylistically it was a good fight for Leon, and obviously he would love to get back that sucker punch that Masvidal loves to do. He would obviously love to get that back. Dude, don't give this fuck a title shot. He doesn't deserve it. He's a bitch. He's a bitch. He's a childish bitch. He's going around with his hat out looking for fucking handouts and charity and freebies, and he doesn't deserve it. And we as UFC fans don't deserve shilling from the organization giving him another title shot, because apparently he's this big star, man. He's got this like pay-per-view buying power. Like, get the fuck out of here. No one wants to watch you. Get the fuck out of here. Do me a favor, if you liked anything here, subscribe, share and like. Cheers.